Hey, I want to hit a topic that is something that I've had to deal with throughout this, and I think this could be helpful for you depending on where you're at with this, and it's basically talking about the concept of letting them continue to think that they are winning. Now, I know in the early stages of this, that can be a really difficult concept to grapple with and to accept. I know, and I say that from experience, that I had a big problem with that one. That was not something I was ready or willing to do. I went out of my way to try to show her that I was doing fine, that her shenanigans were not having the effect that she wanted them to have on me, that I was happy and everything was just peachy keen despite her attempts to sabotage everything. Here's the thing. By doing that, all I did was antagonize her. Now, granted, there were some times as I was fighting back that she would, not show up to school functions or whatever. And whenever she felt that she was losing, or if I was winning, or if things were better for me or than for her, then it would complicate things. It would make things significantly worse. And this boils back to a conversation I had at one point with the Department of Child Support Services, the local office for our county, after I was turned in for being a deadbeat dad, which was a bunch of crap. But, hey, they have to, once that process is started, it does not stop. And for the most part, my experience with the people there, they were pretty decent people, and I was able to have some decent conversations with them about what was going on and some just the specifics of it. And one of the things that happened when I was chatting with one of my caseworkers, or the first caseworker I had, she shared with me that it is not uncommon for a narcissistic, well, she didn't say narcissistic, but let me just say this. It was not uncommon for an ex-spouse, specifically in this context, a wife, ex-wife, even if remarried, obviously that's not my case, but, just follow me here for a second. When that ex-spouse found out that the other party was happy in a relationship, maybe they were getting remarried, maybe something positive had happened for them, they, in an attempt to lash out, would pick up their phone, call the Department of Child Support Services, and say, hey, go after him. I want more money. I want this. I want that. And it was always to try to just to drag him down, to keep make them as miserable as they possibly can for the longest period of time. It took me way too long to figure this little nugget of truth out. And I will tell you that throughout the first few years, every time I would try to maybe rub it in her face, maybe just a little, maybe just a teeny bit, I would put out there, just how great things were or whatever. I mean, I would make sure, I would do all the normal crap. Even to the point that at one point whenever she did unleash the hounds with Child Support Services, and they were garnishing extra money for like $900 in arrears, I bought some stuff for my truck. I upgraded some things. I was like, you know what? I am going to make dang sure that she thinks that, or knows, not thinks, that knows that it has no effect on me, even though it did. So damn it, if she's watching this, now she'll know. Here's the thing, guys, is it doesn't accomplish anything playing that stupid little game with them. I even to the point where I with some of the medical issues I've had, yard work hasn't exactly been, high on my list or my ability to do. So the front of my house does not exactly look the most inviting. And there's, I don't necessarily like it, but there's a part of me that doesn't necessarily mind, because whenever she comes over and pulls in my driveway to let the kids out, I am absolutely sure she is smug in the fact that I have let my house go, that I'm destroying this place just like she said that I would. And she doesn't get to come inside. She doesn't get to see how it's happened in here. So, I mean, it's nice in the house. You know, it's decorated decently, and at least in my opinion. I mean, come on, isn't that a nice picture? Anyways, my point is that when I stopped trying to do that tit for tat or trying to make sure that she didn't think she was winning, and that really was my problem, because that's what I was doing. I was trying to make sure that if she thought she was winning or that she got something over on me, to push back so that I could just knock her off that pedestal. I could knock her down. It took me a while, like I said, to realize all it did was hurt me and it hurt the kids. Because what she would do is she would try to do things to lash out at me, or she would do things to the kids to try to lash out at me. And after a while, I realized that it just didn't matter. So that's the reason why, in some ways, and it can seem petty, like with the hybrid no contact, whenever I'm not Johnny on the spot to answer her, because I think it portrays that image towards her that I am this jilted, angry, bitter ex. And I don't know. Do you guys think I'm jilted, angry, and bitter? I get the fact that when she finally finds this channel, the gig's going to be up, and there'll be a consequence to pay on that. I just figure that if this is what I'm supposed to do, it'll last as long as it possibly can. Okay, so what's my point on this? Right? Trying to give you some colorful antidotes. Trying to antidotes? Yeah, it's an antidote to this nightmare. Trying to give you some clarity on this, on how you can approach this, how you can look at this differently to potentially increase the calm in your life. As it stands now, I am fairly confident that she feels that she's completely got one over on me, and there's enough pain, right, that she's causing enough pain that it's okay. She's getting enough of that residual supply from my bitterness that it keeps the monster in their place. If you're like me, and in the beginning part of this, you were really, or if you're in the midst of the beginning part of this, that can seem tough to do. All I'm trying to say is that if you look at this a little differently, you might realize, you know what? If I don't care what she thinks or he thinks. Doesn't matter. Don't need them to know if I'm going someplace and having fun. Now, I'm not saying tell your kids you're not having fun or you're not doing anything. I mean, I'm not saying play those stupid games, but maybe don't share it with your kids. Don't tell other people that are mutual friends what's going on with the hope to get information back. And I know every one of us has done that at one point, that we've said certain things to people that we knew we're gonna leak that information right back to our exes. I get it. I mean, it's one thing we all go through. All I'm trying to say is that oftentimes it doesn't help you. And by taking a more pragmatic approach at this and working to keep your life a little more private and just keep a little bit of distance, when I've talked to you guys before that whenever I have to have those mutual encounters, I'll be friendly and I'll have superficial conversations, but I'm not being over friendly, and I'm not bragging about, yes, I'm going to Barbados next weekend, which I haven't left California and, well, okay, Nevada doesn't count because it's too darn close, but anyways, my point is that consider keeping that information close hold. And if your ex is quote unquote winning or going around acting like they're winning, let them think it. Doesn't have any effect on you. It could be annoying in the beginning, like I was talking about, but in the grand scheme of things, anything that makes your life calmer, anything that makes your environment more stable, anything that allows you, if you have kids, to be able to create a better environment for them, that's the key. Goes back to that battle war thing I've been talking about lately. You can, like on this, you can fight the battle and you could potentially win the battle, knock them off their high horse, demonstrate to them that they are not winning. They are not in control. They are not the masters of this nightmare or this pile of dung. Doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter, right? You can win that war. It's going to create more problems. They're going to ramp things up, try to find ways to knock you off your horse. It's not worth it, guys. It is absolutely not worth it. So I want you to think about that, and hopefully that will be helpful and give you a different perspective on how to deal with your ex. And whenever they do something to just, boop, poke you right in the eye, to say, you know what? If they think they got me, fine. Let them think that. It's okay. I'll even sit over and cross my arms and just look angrily. Look angrily at them. Don't say anything. Don't do anything that makes it, gives them any more potential to create more problems. But all right, on that, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up. Hopefully that you found that helpful. If you like this channel and you think it would be helpful for you, please consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing that bell notification so that YouTube will actually tell you about when I post videos, because otherwise they won't. In the cards over here on the bottom, let me see if I can aim right. Right over here should be my Mindset for Narcissistic Abuse Recovery playlist, and the one above it is a video specifically picked as a best choice for you by YouTube. So on that, have an outstanding day, and I will chat with you in the next video. Take care. Bye.